the show.
Yes, don't forget to turn off your cell phones, put it in silent mode. We're so excited to have you guys see our production, and we're very proud of it, so we hope you enjoy it as well. And yeah, enjoy the show. Yeah.
Dark phrases of womanhood, of never having been a girl. Half notes scattered without rhythm, no tune. This short laughter falling over a black girl's shoulder. It's funny. It's hysterical. The melodiousness of her dance. But don't tell nobody, don't tell a soul. She's dancing on big hands and shingles. This must be the spook house. Another song with no singers. Lyrics, no voice. Interrupted solos. Unseen performances. Are we ghouls? Children of horror? The joke? But don't tell nobody, don't tell a soul. Are we animals? Have we gone crazy? I can't hear anything but maddening screams and the soft strain of death. And you promised me, somebody, anybody, sing a black girl song. Bring her out. Bring her out to know herself. To know you. But sing her rhythms. Caring, struggling, hard times. Sing the song of life. Sing the song of the possibilities. Sing a righteous gospel. Let her be born. Let her be born and handled warmly.
I'm outside Chicago.
I'm outside of Detroit.
I'm outside Houston.
I'm outside Baltimore.
I'm outside San Francisco.
I'm outside Manhattan.
I'm outside St. Louis.
And this is for colored girls who have considered suicide, but have moved to the ends of their own rainbows.
Mama's little baby like shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby like shortening bread. Mama's little baby like shortening, shortening. Mama's little baby like shortening bread. Little Sally Walker sitting in a saucer. Rise, Sally, rise. Wipe your weeping eyes. Put your hands on your hips. Let your backbone slip. Oh, shake it to the east. Oh, shake it to the west. Shake it to the one that you like the best. You're ready.
It was graduation night, and I was the only virgin in the crowd. Bobby Mills, Martin Jerome, Sammy, and Randy, all the pretty niggas in the factory carried me out with them, and a big black view. Smelling thunderbirds and ladies in heat, we rambled all the way from Camden to Mount Holly, laughing at the afternoon speeches as we dangled our tassels in the rearview mirror, climbing different soda projects, moving toward the snapping of the beer cans. Get it, mama, that's the way to do it. All of Mercer County graduated that night. Cosmetology, secretarial, pre-college, auto shops and businesses, all of us moving from mama to whatever was out there. That night, we raced a big old black truck from the barbecue stand, trying to tell him about the party at Jackie's, where folks graduated last year and was waiting to hit it with us. I got so drunk, I couldn't figure out whose hand was on my thigh. But it didn't matter because these cousins, Martin, Eddie, Jerome, and Sammy, were also my sweethearts since the 7th grade. And everybody knew I always started crying if I actually thought someone was trying to take advantage of me. At Jackie's, Yolanda Mason was sticking her mouth all out as we tumbled into Buick. Eddie Jones was her licking stick, but me, I knew how to dance. It got so hot. Vincent Ramos scooped over all the punch. Harley jumped up in Tico's face because he was leaving for the Navy in the morning. Had to kick ass just to remind everybody how bad he was. Seems like Sheila and Marguerite didn't want to get their hair turned back, so they laid up against the wall trying to look all sexy. But me and my fellas, we was dancing. Woo! Since 1963, I won all kinds of contests with the cousins. We were part of the Police Athletic League dance. All of Mercer County knew. Any can Tamar ate could turn stomach sauce for Smokey Robinson to get a woman excited doing nasty, dirty old tricks. I have been thinking since graduation, it had to be hot. Since I was the only virgin, I had to make like my hips was into something. So if anybody thought I was doing something, it would be with the older man who couldn't run the streets with youngsters. Martin took his leg, slipped it around my thigh, and the Dale's gonna stay up and down, up and down. We was grown. We was finally grown. All of a sudden, Yolanda went crazy, walked over to Eddie, cursing out and carrying on, digging her nails in his skin. All the cousins was trying to talk some sense into her, holding her arms up. Listen, bitch, Jimmy went on. I be whispering in my ear. I said, come with him before they get to cutting up, before the police arrive. We teetered through that parking lot. We didn't know nothing about no party. He got to looking at me. Yeah. He started staring at me real strange. Like I was a woman or something. Speaking softly in the backseat of that old Buick. Wow. By daybreak, I couldn't stop grinning.
You gave it up in a Buick?
Yes, honey, and it was wonderful.
We used to do it all up in the dark in all of those corners. Some niggas sweating all over you. I never did like to grind.
Well, what other kind of dances are there?
Mambo, bomba, merengue. When I was 16, I ran off to South Bronx because I was going to meet up with Willie Colon and dance all the time. Mambo, bomba, merengue.
Do you speak Spanish?
Hola. My papa thought he was Puerto Rican. We would have been, except we was just regular niggas with hints of Spanish. So, off I went to this 36-hour dance marathon called Salsa con Ricardo, Sugar Ray on the Boulevard. Hey. Next door to this photography place, jammed with wedding burial and colonial relics, next to this La Real, Ideal, genuine Spanish bar, and get up the stairs and lots of hallway with my colored New Jersey self. Didn't know what nobody was saying, except if dancing was proof of origin, I was Jibarita herself that night. And the next day, I kept smiling and right on stepping. If he could lead, I was ready to dance. If he couldn't lead, I caught this attitude I seen from something would not be bothered. I was twirling, hipping, giving much quick feet till Saturday afternoon when the disc jockey said, sorry folks, Willie Colon ain't gonna make it tonight. And all my nigga temper came out of control. And I talked English loud and I wouldn't dance with nobody. And I love you more than I was mad. More than when I discovered Archie Shepp and Subtle Blues. Don't you know I wore out the magic of juju? Heroically resisting being possessed. Oh, the sounds. Sneaking in under Ace of Slugs to stare at a real-eyed beast there. And every word out of Imamu's mouth was gospel. And if Jesus couldn't play no horn like Shep, was in no need for colored folks to bear no cross at all. And poem is my thank you for music. I love you more than poem. More than Arielano Buenita loved Maconado. More than Hector Lavoe loved himself. More than the lady loved gardenias. More than Celia loves Cuba. More than The flamingos. Shuru etu wa.
Love being pretty.
Oye, negro. Te amo más que.
Te amo más que when you play your flute. Te amo más que. Te amo más que. Te amo más que. Te amo más que. Te amo más que.
Assistance or guidance from you, I have loved you assiduously for 8 months, 2 weeks, and a day. I have been stood up 4 times. I've left 7 packages on your doorstep, 40 poems, 2 plants, and 3 handmade note cards. I left town so I could send to you. Have been no help to me on my job. You call me 3 in the morning on weekdays so I could drive 27.5 miles across the bay before I go to work. Charmin.
Come on.
But you are of no assistance. I want you to know that this was an experiment to see how selfish I could be. To see if I could really carry on to snare a possible lover. If I was capable of debasing myself for the love of another, if I could stand not being wanted when I wanted to be wanted. And I cannot. So, without any further assistance and no guidance from you, I am ending this affair. This note attached to a plaque. I have been watered since the day I met you. You men water it your damn self!
Come on. I don't want to write in English or in Spanish. I want to sing. Make you dance like the butter. Dance, scream to eclipse with me. 'Cause I done forgot all about words, ain't got no definitions. I wanna reel with you. Our whole body wrapped like a ripe mango, rambling, whipping through space. Let Willie Cologne take you out, swing your head, push your legs to the moon with me. Woohoo! I'm on the Lower East Side in New York City, and I can't talk with you no more.
We gotta dance to keep from crying.
We gotta dance to keep from dying.
So come on.
Come on!
Come on.
Hold your head like it was rubies of fire. I am a poet who writes in English. Come to share the words with you.
Come to share our worlds with you. We come here to be dancing, to be dancing, to be dancing. Fire!
Pressing charges against a friend is hard.
If you know him, you must have wanted it.
A misunderstanding.
You know, these things happen.
Are you sure you didn't suggest? Had you been drinking?
A rapist is always to be a stranger to be legitimate. Someone you never saw, a man with obvious problems.
Pinups attached to the insides of his lapels.
Ticket stubs from porno flicks in his pocket.
A little dick.
Or a strong mother.
Or just a brutal virgin.
But if you've been seen in public with him, danced one dance, kiss him goodbye lightly.
With closed mouth.
Pressing charges will be as hard as keeping your legs closed with 5 fools trying to run a train on you.
His men friends of ours who smile nice, stay employed, and take us out to dinner.
Lock the door behind
With
you.
fist and face to fuck.
Who cook us elaborate Mediterranean dinners and let the art ensemble carry all ethical burden while they invite a couple of friends over to have you. Are suffering from latent rapist bravado, and we are left with the scars.
Being betrayed by men who know us.
And expect like the stranger we always thought was coming.
That we will submit.
We must have known.
Women relinquish all personal rights in the presence of a man who apparently considered a rapist.
Especially if he has been considered a friend.
And is no less worthy of being beat within an inch of his life, being publicly ridiculed with 2 fists shoved up his ass.
And the stranger we always thought it would
Who
be.
never showed up.
Because it turns out, the nature of rape has changed.
We can now meet them in circles we frequent for companionship.
We see them at the coffee house.
With somebody else we know.
We could even have them over for dinner and get raped in our own houses by invitation. Friend.
Eyes.
Vice.
Wound.
Nobody.
Tubes. Tables. Whitewashed windows. Grime from age wiped over once. Legs spread. Anxious. Eyes crawling up on me. Eyes rolling in my thighs. Metal horses gnawing my womb. Dead mice fall from my mouth. I really didn't mean to. I really didn't think I could. Just one day off. Get off of me, all this blood! These bones shattered like ice cream cones. I couldn't have people looking at me pregnant. I couldn't have my friends see this dying, dangling between my legs. And I didn't say a thing. Not a sign. Or a fast scream. To get those eyes off of me! Get them steel rods out of me! This hurts! This hurts me! And nobody came. Because nobody knew. Once I was pregnant and ashamed of myself.
Once there were quadroon balls. Elegance in St. Louis. Laced mulattoes gambling down the Mississippi to Memphis. New Orleans and okra crepes near the bayou, where the poor white trash would sing, moaning strange liquid tones through the swamps. Sacheta had heard these things. She moved as if she'd known them. The silver and high-toned laughing, the violins and marble floors. Sacheta pushed the clinging delta dust with painted toes. The patchwork tent was polka-dotted. Sail lights snatched at the shadows. Creole Carnival was playing natchez in 10 minutes. Her splendid red garters, gin-stained and itchy on her thigh, black diamond stockings darned with yellow threads. An old starched taffeta can fell abundantly orange from her waist round the splintering chair. Sacheta, Egyptian goddess of creativity, second millennium, threw her heavy hair in a coil over her neck. Sacheta,
Goddess, the recording of history, spread crimson oil on her cheeks, waxed her eyebrows, and unconsciously slugged the last hard whiskey in the glass. The broken mirror she used to decorate her face made her forehead tilt backwards. Her cheeks appear sunken, her sassy chin only large enough to keep the full lower lip from growing into her neck. Sachita had learned to make allowances for the distortions. But the clinging dust of the delta left a tinge of grit and darkness on every one of her dresses, on her arms and her shoulders. Sachita was anxious to get back to St. Louis. The dirt there didn't crawl from the earth into your soul. At least in St. Louis, the grime was store-bought secondhand. Here in Natchez, God seemed to be wiping his feet in her face. One of the wrestlers had finally won. Tonight, the mulatto, Raul, was supposed to hold the booming half-caste Syrian Eagle in a bear hug. 8 counts, get thrown unawares, fall out the ring, and then do the Syrian Eagle in for good. Sachita could hear rednecks, whoops, and slapping on the back. She gathered her sparsely sequined skirt, tugged the waist kinship from under her graying slips, and made her face immobile. She made her face like Nefertiti approaching her own tomb. She suddenly threw her leg full force through the canvas curtain. A deceptive black stone sparkled, malignant, on her ankle. Oof. Her calf was taunting in the brazen carny lights, the full moon. Sachita, goddess of love, Egypt, second millennium, performing the rites, the conjuring of men, conjuring the spirit. In Natchez, the Mississippi spewed a heavy fume over barely moving waters, and Sachita's legs slashed furiously through the crack of night, and gold pieces hitting the makeshift stage. Her thighs, they were aiming points between her thighs. Sachita, Egypt, goddess, harmony, kicked viciously through the night, catching stars between her toes.
The library was right down the trolley track. Across the laundromat, through the big shining floors and granite pillars. All St. Louis is famous for I Found the Sun. Of course, months after Cajun Kitty, Christopher Robin, Katie Hagar, and a Pooh Bear in the children's room. Only Pioneer Girls and Magic Rabbit, big cities, white boys. I know I wasn't supposed to, but I ran into the adult reading room and I came across Toussaint. My first black man. I never got I didn't like him. Still, Toussaint was a black man, a Negro, like my mama said, who refused to be a slave, who spoke French, and who didn't know no white man told him nothing. Not Maximilian, no Robespierre, no Napoleon. Toussaint #2 was the beginning of reality for me. In the summer contest, for who cooler kids can read 15 books in 3 weeks, I won and raved about Toussaint #2. But in the afternoon ceremony, I was disqualified. Because Toussaint belonged to the adult reading room. And I cried. I carried Toussaint home. He was dead in the book. He was dead and living to me. Because Toussaint and them, they held the citadel against the French. With the spirits of all dead Africans out of the ground. Toussaint led the army of zombies, walking on cannonballs, shooting spears to free Haiti. And there wasn't slaves no more. Toussaint became my secret lover at the age of 8. I used to entertain him in my bedroom with the flashlight under my covers, within the night discussing the strategies of how to remove white girl from a health coach game, etc. Toussaint was lying on my bed, next to my teddy bear. The night I decided to run away from my integrated home, my integrated school, and my integrated street. 1955 was a difficult year for colored girls. So Toussaint
to Haiti. And I say, all right. So we packed some important stuff in my brown paper bag. So we wouldn't have to come back. And we took a Hootermont streetcar down to the river. Last stop, only 50 cents. Because apparently, nobody could see Toussaint except me. And we walked down through North St. Louis, where the French used to live. All in tiny brick houses. Missing windows, shingles uneven, with colored kids playing, and women on low porches sipping beer. Oh man, I could talk to Toussaint down by the river. Like, this is the way we're gonna stow away on a boat for New Orleans. And then we're just gonna catch a Creole fishing ring for Port-au-Prince, and we're gonna read and talk and eat fried bananas. We're just walking, passing old drunk men. When suddenly, this silly old boy jumped out on me saying, "Hey girl, you better come over here and talk to me." I turned to Toussaint, who was furious, and I shot the silly boy, "Yo, you better leave me alone or Toussaint's gonna kick your ass." The silly boy came around the corner laughing at me saying, "Hey, you must be somebody to know my name so quick." That was disgusting. I wanted to get into Haiti without some tacky old boy bothering me. Still, he continued standing there, kicking carton nails and bits of brick and trying to get all into my business. So I mumbled to Lever 2, what should I do? So I asked the silly old boy, "Well, who are you?" He said, "My name is Toussaint Jones." Well, I looked right at him. Loose quarter pants, strapped t-shirt with holes in both elbows, a new scar on his left eye, and I said, "What's your name again?" He said, "I'm Toussaint Jones." Whoa, I'm on my way to see Toussaint Lever 2 in Haiti. Are you any kin to him? He doesn't take no stuff from no white folks. And they have the country for themselves, and there's no slaves. The silly boy squinted his face a lot, and he said, "Look at here, yellow girl. My name is Toussaint Jones, and I'm right here looking at you. And I don't take no stuff from no white folks. You don't see no around here, do you?" He put his chest out and said, "Come on, let's go down the docks and see the boats." I was really going down the docks with my bag and my books, and I felt Toussaint Lever 2 sort of leave me. And I was sad. But then I realized that Toussaint Jones wasn't too different from the old one. Except that this one was in Haiti, and this one, well, I'll be speaking English, and eating apples. That was alright with me. Don't telling me what spirits we could move down by the river, St. Louis, 1955. Hey, wait!
Orange butterflies and acrocycles and cups to his slight bosom. Silk roses dark from behind her ears, the passion flower of southwest Los Angeles meandered down River Street. Past dark, shuttered houses where women from Louisiana shelled peas round 3 and sent their sons whistling to the store for fatback and black-eyed peas. She glittered in heat and seemed to be looking for rides when she wasn't, and absolutely eyed every man who wasn't lame, white, or not. She let her thighs slip from her skirt, crossing the street. And she slowed to be examined. And she never looked back to smile or acknowledge a sincere "Hey, mama," or to meet the eye of someone purposely finding something to do in her direction. She was sullen, and the rhinestones etching the corners of her mouth suggested tears. Fresh kisses that had done no. She always wore her stomach out, lined with small, iridescent feathers. The hairs round her navel seemed to dance, and she didn't let on she knew that from behind her waist was aching to be held, the pastel ivy drawn on her shoulders to be brushed with lips and fingers smelling of honey. Oh, and Jack Daniels. She was hot. A deliberate coquette who never went without what she wanted, and she wanted to be unforgettable. She wanted to be a memory, a wound to every man arrogant enough to want her. She was the wrath of women in windows, finger and shades, old lace curtains, camouflage and despair, and stretch marks. So she glittered, honestly, delighted she was desired, and allowed those especially scheming, tactful suitors to experience her body and spirit tearing, so easily blended with theirs, and they were so happy, lay on her lime sheets full and wept from her tongue. She kissed them reverently, even ankles, edges of beards.
At 4:30 a.m. she rose, moving the arms and legs as trapped her. She started filming the sculptured man, then made herself a bath of dark musk oil Egyptian crystals, and Florida water to remove the smell, to wash away the glitter, to watch the butterflies melt into suds, and the rhinestones fall beneath the buttocks like smooth pebbles in a Missouri creek. Playing in water, she became herself. Ordinary. A brown, braided woman with big legs and full lips. Regular. But seriously intending to finish her night's work, she quickly walked to her guest and strutted on her pillows and began. You'll have to walk now. I've a lot of work to do when I come with a man around. There's coffee on the stove. Here, your pants. It's been very nice, but I can't see you again. You got what you came for, didn't you? And she smiled. And without a curse about crazy bitches or sit dumbfounded, while she repeated, I can't possibly wake up with a man around. Why don't you go home? She could have been slapped upside the head, or verbally challenged. She never was. And those who fell prey to the dazzle of her hips painted with orange blossoms and magnolia-scented wrists had wanted no more than to leave between her sparkling thighs. And she had been so divine, devastatingly bizarre, her mouth fit round. And now she stood a regular cunt girl, full of the same manners, and livid indifference from supporting a would-be horn player. Well, she waited by the window. And then you. You left in a hurry. She would gather tinsels and jewels from the top. And she would store silk roses by her bed. And when she finished writing her accounts in a book full of lilies and moonstones, she would put her rose behind her ear and cry herself to sleep.
My universe is now 6 blocks. When I walked in the Pacific, I imagined waters ancient from Accra and Tunis, cleansing me and feeding me. Now my ankles are coated in the gray filth from the puddle beneath the hydrant. My oceans were life. What waters I have here sit stagnant, circling old men's bodies, shit, broken little whiskey bottles left to make me bleed. I used to live in the world, and then I moved to Harlem. Tunnel with a train, ride anywhere and remain a stranger. No, man. No, you can't go with me. I don't even know you. No, I don't want to kiss you. You ain't but 12 years old, man. No. Please leave me alone. Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. No, I can't use that. I could stay alone in the world. A woman in the world. And then I moved to Harlem. Come in around dusk. Stay close to the curb around midnight, praying won't no young man find me pretty on a dark morning. It wouldn't be good. No good at all to come across a tall, short, black, brown young man, full of his power, in the dark, in my universe of 6 blocks. Straight up brick walls. Women hanging out a window like old silk stockings. Cats crying, children giggling. Bad smells, kissing ladies smiling, dirt sidewalks spitting. Old men cursing, playing. I spent more money yesterday than the day before that. And all of that's more than your niggas allowed to get a hold to. Come over here, bitch. Can't you see this is $5? Never mind. Don't pay him no mind. Go, sister. Go. Deep. Never mind. I used to live in the world. Really be in the world. Free, sweet talking. Good morning. And thank you. Have a nice day. I can't now. Can't be nice to nobody. Nice is such a ripoff. Regular beauty and a smile in the street. It's a setup. I used to live in the world. Be a woman in the world. I had a right to the world. And then I moved to Harlem for the setup. A universe. 6 blocks of cruelty piling up on itself. A tunnel closing.
Three of us like a pyramid. 3 friends, 1 laugh, 1 music, 1 flowered shawl knotted on each neck. We all saw him at the same time. And he saw us. I felt a quick thump in each one of us. Didn't know what to do. We all wanted what was coming our way. So we split. But he found one. And she loved him. The other 2 were tickled and spurned his advances, when the one who loved him was somewhere else. He would come to her saying, "Your friends love you very much. I have tried, and they keep wondering, where are you?" So she smiled, wondering how long her friends would hold out. He was what they were looking for. He bided his time, he waited till romance waned. The three of us made up stories about Eusta and could have been nice. The season was dry. No men, no quickies, not one dance or eyes unrelenting, one day after another. Except for the one who loved him. He appeared irregularly, expecting graciousness no matter what. She cut fresh strawberries. Her friends caught less frequently. Went on hunts for passing fancies. She couldn't figure out what was happening. Then, the rose she left by his pillow, she found on her friend's desk. And there was nothing to say. She said, I want to tell you he's been after me all the time. Says he's free and can explain what's happening with you. It's nothing to me and I don't want to hurt you, but you know I need somebody now and you know how wonderful he is. Her friend couldn't speak or cry. They hugged and went to where he was. With another woman. He said goodbye to one, told the other he would call. He smiled a lot. She held her head on her lap, the lap of her sister soaking up tears, each understanding how much love stood between them, how much love between them, love between them. Love like sisters.
Ever since I realized there was someone called a colored girl, an evil woman, a bitch, or a man, I've been trying not to be that. I'll leave bitterness in somebody else's cup. Come to somebody to love me without deep and nasty smelling called from lie, or left screaming in a street full of lunatic or whispering slut, bitch, nigga, get out of here with all of that. And I didn't have any of that for you. I brought you a joy I found, and I found joy. Honest fingers round my face, with dead musicians on 78s from Cuba and live musicians on $5 LPs from Chicago, where I've never been. And I love Willie Colon and Arsenio Rodriguez, especially because I can make the music loud enough so there is no me but dance. And when I can dance like that, there's nothing gonna hurt me! And then I get tired. And I have to come off the floor. And then there is that woman that hurt you, who you left 3 or 4 times and just went back after you put my heart in the bottom of your shoe. You just walked back to where you hurt. And I didn't have nothing. So I went to where somebody had something for me, but he wasn't you. And I was on the way back from her house in the bottom of your shoe. So this is not a love poem, because there's only memorial albums available. And even Charlie Mingus wanted desperately to be a pimp, and I won't be able to see Eddie Palmieri for months. So this is a requiem for myself. Because I have died in a real way. Not with aqua coffins or doo-wop Cadillacs. I used to joke about when I was messing around. But a real dead lover is here for me now. Because I don't know anymore. I don't know how to avoid my own face wet with my tears. Because I had convinced myself colored girls had no right to sorrow. And I lived and loved black ways, kept sorrow on the curb allegedly for you, but I know I did it for myself! I did it for myself! I couldn't stand being sorry and colored at the same time. It's so redundant in the modern world.
I lived with myths and music was my old man. And I could dance. A dance out of time, a dance with no partners, take my pills and keep right on stepping. Linger in non-English speaking arms so there was no possibility of understanding, and you came saying, I am the nigger. I am the baddest motherfucker out there. I said yes. This is who I am waiting for. And to come with you, I had to bring everything. The dance and the terror, the dead musicians and the hope and the scars I had hidden with smiles and good fucking lay open. And I don't know. I don't know any more tricks. I am really colored and really sad sometimes. And you hurt me more than I ever could have danced out of. Into oblivion isn't far enough to get out of this. I am ready to die like a lily in the desert, and I couldn't let you in on it because I didn't know. Here is what I have. Poems, big thighs, little tits, and so much love. Will you take it from me this one time? Please? This is for you. Arsenio's trace clears the way and makes me pure again. Please. Please, this is for you. I want you to love me. Let me love you. I don't want to dance with ghosts. Snuggle lovers I made up in my drunkenness. Please. Let me love you just like I am. A colored girl. I'm finally being real. No longer symmetrical and impervious to pain.
We deal with emotions too much. So why don't we just go ahead and be white then? Make everything dry and abstract. No rhythm. No reeling for sheer sensual pleasure. Yes. Let's go ahead and be white. We're right here in the middle of it. There's no use in holding out and holding on to ourselves. Let's think our ways out of feeling. Let's abstract ourselves some families. Yeah, maybe tonight I'll find a way to make myself come without you. No fingers, no other objects. Just thought. Which is a spiritual evolution because it's empty. And godliness is plenty, it's ripe, it's fertile. Yeah, thinking won't do me a bit of good. Tonight I need to be loved. But I haven't the audacity to say, where are you? No, know who to say it to.
I've lost it. Touch with reality. And I don't know who's doing it. I thought I was, because I was so stupid I was able to be hurt. It's not real. Not anymore. I should be immune if I'm still alive. That's what I was discussing. How am I still alive? And my dependency of other living beings for love. I survive off of intimacy and tomorrow. That's all I got. And the music was like smack. And you knew about it. And still refused my dance wasn't enough. But it was all I had. Being alive, being a woman, being colored is the metaphysical dilemma that I have not yet conquered. Did you see the point? My spirit is too ancient to understand the separation of soul and gender. My love is too delicate to have thrown back in my face. My love is too delicate to have thrown back in my face.
And my love is too beautiful to be thrown back in my face.
My love is too sanctified to have thrown back on my face.
My love is too magic to have thrown back in my face.
My love is too Saturday night to have thrown back on my face.
My love is too complicated to have thrown back on my face.
My love is too music to have thrown back in my face.
Music! Music!
Yank, dank, dank, dank. Music! Yank, dank, dank, dank. Music! Yank, dank, dank, dank.
Delicate
And delicate and delicate
And beautiful.
And beautiful, and beautiful.
Oh, sanctified.
Oh, sanctified. Oh, sanctified.
And magic.
And magic, and magic.
And Saturday night.
And Saturday night, and Saturday night.
And complicated.
And complicated, and complicated, and complicated, and complicated, and complicated, and complicated, and complicated.
Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. Not my poems or a dance I gave up in the street, but somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. Like a kleptomaniac working hard and forgetting while stealing that this is mine. This ain't your stuff. Now why don't you put me back and let me hang out in my own self? Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff and didn't care enough to send a note home saying I was late for my solo conversation or 2 sizes too small for my own tacky skirt. What did somebody do with something of no value on an open market? Did you get a dime for my things? Hey man, where are you going with all of my stuff? This is a woman's trip and I need my stuff to ooh and ah about. Daddy, I got a mainline number for my own shit. Now won't you put me back and let me play this duet with this silver ring in my nose? Honest to God, somebody almost run off with all of my stuff. And I didn't bring anything but the kick and sway of it, the perfect ass for my man, and none of it's theirs. This is mine. Sasha, her own thing. That's my name. Now give me my stuff. I see you hiding my laugh and how I sit with my legs open sometimes to give my crotch some sunlight. And there goes my love, my toes, my chewed up fingernails. Nigga with the curls in your hair. Mr. Louisiana Hot Link. I want my stuff back. My rhythms and my voice. Open my mouth and let me talk you out of throwing my shit in the sewer. This is some delicate leg and whimsical kiss that I gotta have to give to my choice without you running off with all of my shit. Now you can't have me unless I give me away. And I was doing all that till you run off on a good thing. Who's this you left me with? Some simple bitch with a bad attitude? I want my things. I want my arm with the hot iron scar and my leg with the flea bite. I want my callous feet and my quick language back in my mouth. Fried plantains, pineapple pear juice, Sun Ra and Joseph and Jules. I want my own things. How I live them? Give me back my things.
How I was when I was there. You can't have them or do nothing with them. You know, stealing my shit from me doesn't make it yours. It makes it stolen. somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. And I was standing there looking at myself the whole time. And it wasn't a spirit that almost ran off with my stuff. It was a man whose ego walked around like rodent shadow. It was a man who was faster than my innocence. It was a lover that I made too much room for who almost ran off with all of my stuff. Now, I didn't know that I was going to give it up so quick. And while running with it, he don't even know he got it. I'm sitting here shouting that this is mine. He don't even know he got it. My stuff is the anonymous, ripped off treasure of the year. You know somebody almost got away with me? With me in a plastic bag underneath their arm, with me dangling on a string of personal carelessness. I'm spattered in mud and city rain. And no, I didn't get a chance to take a douche. Hey man, this is not your prerogative. I gotta have me in my pocket to get around like a good woman should, to make the poem in the pot or the chicken in the dance. What I gotta do, I gotta have my stuff to do it. Now why don't you leave this package of me for my destiny and find your own things? What you gotta get from me? Oh, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you around 5 in the winter when the sky is blue, red, and Dew City is getting pressed. But if it's really my stuff, you gotta give it to me. And if you really want it, well, I'm the only one can handle it.
Oh, that nigga will be back tomorrow saying, I'm sorry.
Get this. Last week my old man came in saying, I don't know how she got your number. Baby, I'm sorry.
Oh no, this one is it. Oh baby, you know it was high. I'm sorry.
I'm only human, and inadequacy is what makes us human. And if we was perfect, we would have nothing to strive for. So you might as well go on and forgive me, pretty baby, because I'm sorry.
Shut up, bitch. I told you I was sorry.
No, that's what I said. I do it like I do it because I thought you could take it. No, I'm sorry.
Now I know that you know that I love you, but I ain't never gonna love you the way you want me to love you. I'm sorry.
One thing I don't need is any more apologies.
Yes.
I got sorry greeting me at my front door. You can keep yours. I don't know what to do with them. Oh, they don't open doors or bring the sun back. They don't make me happy or get a morning paper. Nobody stopped using my tears to wash cars because of a sorry. I am simply tired of collecting. I didn't know it was so important to you. I'm gonna have to throw some away because I can't get to the clothes in my closet. For all the sorry, I'm gonna tack a sign to the door. Leave a message by the phone. If you love to say you're sorry, call somebody else. I don't use them anymore. I'm not sorry. Didn't mean to. How could I have known about that? Take a walk down a dark, musty street in Brooklyn.
Ooh, yes.
I'm gonna do exactly what I want to and not be sorry for none of it. Let sorry soothe your soul. I'm gonna soothe mine. You were always inconsistent. Doing something and then being sorry.
Oh, yes.
Beating my heart to death. Talking about you're sorry? Well, I will not call. I'm not going to be nice. I will raise my voice and holler and race the engine and break things. I will tell all of your secrets about yourself to your face.
Yeah.
I will list in detail every one of my wonderful lovers and I will play Oliver Lake loud and not be sorry for none of it.
Yes.
I loved you on purpose. I was open on purpose. And I still crave vulnerability and close talk, and I'm not even sorry about you being sorry. You can keep all the
the guilt and grime you want it, just don't give it to me. I can't use another sorry. Next time you should just admit you're mean. Low down, trifling, and don't count straight out. Instead of being sorry all the time, try being yourself. Yeah.
It's not that I don't love him. Not that I never loved him. It's just been so many years.
It's been so many years. And there he was at the concert, and he looked the same way he always looked, and then he looked at me the same way he always looked at. And then his arm was around me, and we walked the same way we always walked, and I fell into his arms, and we fell into bed.
It was the same like it always been. And I loved him like I always loved him. It's been years. One by one, my clothing came off. Little by little, he entered me.
It never occurred to me that there's gonna be someone else. Although it's been years and we will be living together again and love each other again, and then I will forget all the years apart.
It's not that I don't love him. It's not that I never loved him. It just has been so many years.
There was no air. The sheets made ripples under his body like crumpled paper napkins in a summer park, and little specks of something between his toes, or the biscuits from the day before, and the sweat that tucked into his limbs like he was an old frozen bundle of chicken. He'd get up, make coffee, cook up his crack, drink wine, drink water. He wished one of his friends who knew where he was would come by with some blow or some shit, anything. There was no air. He'd see the spotlights in the alleyways downstairs moving in the air, cross his wall over his face like in Fallujah, and get under the covers and wait for an all clear until he could hear the traffic and the children again. There was nothing wrong with him.
There was nothing wrong with him. PTSD, PTSD, PTS. He kept telling Crystal not sociable. Any nigga want to kill Arab children more than stay at home is sicker than a rabid dog. That's how that thing had gone since he got back. And Crystal just kept on saying what a fool nigga Bo was and always had been. Didn't he run all over uptown saying how the child wasn't his? Was some no-counts bastard, and any old city police officer could come and get it if they wanted. Cause as soon as the blood type and shit was together, everybody would know that Crystal was a no-good lying woman. And this is after she'd been his girl since she was 13, when he caught her on the stand.
He came home crazy as hell. He wanted to get the veterans' benefits for being in Basra so he could go on to school, but they kept on putting him in remedial classes. He couldn't read worth a damn. He couldn't read Farsi. He couldn't read Arabic. He couldn't read English. So Bo accused the teachers of putting him back and went and got himself a gypsy cab to drive. But the cab kept messing around. And the cops was always messing with him. That's not getting much bread.
And Crystal went and got pregnant again. Must be that goddamn raghead from the bodega. Bo almost beat her to death when she still got the scar under her right tit where he cut her up. Still, Crystal went right on and had the baby. So now Bo Willie had 2 children. A little girl, Naomi Kenya, and a boy, Kwame Bo Willie Brown, and there was no air. How in the hell did he get in this mess anyway? Somebody went and told Crystal that Bo was spending all his money on some bartending bitch that worked down at the Merry-Go-Round Cafe. Ooh, Bo shot right up in bed, wrapped up in sheets, looking like John the Baptist or a huge baby with stumbling nuts. Now he had to get Crystal taken back. Oh damn. Pipe was burning up his fingers. His fingers were turning black just like his teeth, and now his hand was burnt. And he dropped the damn pipe and he couldn't get out of bed without cutting his feet. He had to get her to let him come home. Crystal had gone and got a court order saying Beau Willie Brown had no access to his children. If he showed his face, he was subject to arrest. Shit. She'd been in his ass to marry her since she was 14, and here, when she was 22. She wanted to throw him out because he said he'll marry her. She burst out laughing, hollering. What you want to marry me for now, huh? So I can support your ass, or I'll come sit with you when they lock your behind up. Because they're going to come for you, you goddamn lunatic. They're going to come, and I ain't going to have a thing to do with it. Oh, no. I wouldn't marry your pitiful black ass for nothing. And she went to bed. The next day, Beau Willie came and blasted. He got to swinging chairs at Crystal. Couldn't figure out what in the hell he was doing till he got to shouting again how he wanted to marry her and have a family. And he could stop driving them spics around while they tried to kill him for $15, and she could stop having our children. Beau was sweating terrible. Remembering Basra beating on Crystal, and he couldn't do no more with a table and chair, so he went to get the high chair. And little Kwame was in it. And Beau was beating Crystal with the high chair, and her son, some notion got into him to stop, and he ran out. Crystal almost died. That's why the police wouldn't let Beau near where she lived no more. And she'd been telling the kids their daddy tried to kill her and Kwame, and he just wanted to marry her. That's what. He wanted to marry her and have a family, but the bitch was crazy. Beau was sitting in his hotel room in his drawers, drinking coffee, smoking crack, drinking wine in the heat of the day, spilling shit all over himself, laughing about how he was going to get Crystal to take him back and let him be a man in the house, and she wouldn't have to go to work no more. He got all dressed up in his ivory shirt and checkered pants to go see Crystal and get this mess all cleared up. He knocked on the door to Crystal's room. She didn't answer. He beat on the door, and Crystal and Naomi started crying. Beau got to shouting again how he wanted to marry her, and was she always going to be a whore? Did you want a husband? And Crystal just kept on screaming for him to leave us alone! Just leave us alone! So Beau broke the door down. She held the children in front of her. She picked Kwame off the ground in her arms and held Naomi by her shoulders and kept saying, Beau Willie Brown, get out of here. Get out of here, you fool! The police is gonna come for you. You want the children to see you act the fool again? You want Kwame to brain damage from you throwing him around? Nigga, get out of here! Get out! And don't show your ass again or I'll kill you. He reached for the little girl. Naomi grabbed the little girl and stared at Beau Willie like he was a leper or something. Don't you touch my children, motherfucker, I'll kill you. He leapt back all humble and apologetic. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt him. I just want to hold him and be on my way. I don't want to cause you no more trouble. I want to marry you and give you things. What you gonna give? A broken jaw? Nigga, get out of here! He ignored Chris's outburst and sat down, motioning for Naomi to come to him, and she smiled back at her daddy. Crystal felt the little girl give it in and held her tighter. Naomi pushed away and ran to her daddy, crying, Daddy, Daddy, come back, Daddy. But be nice to Mommy, because Mommy loves you, and you gotta be nice. He He sat her on his knee and played with her ribbons and counted fingers and toes, and every so often he'd look over Crystal, hold Kwame like a statue, and he'd say, "See, Crystal, I can be a good father. Now let me see my son." And she didn't move. And he coaxed her. And he coaxed her, told her she was still a hot little old thing and pretty and strong. Didn't she get right back up after that little old fight they had and go back to work? Oh, Willie. Oh, his kindness. And Crystal, who had known so little. And that boho Kwame. As soon as she let that baby out of her arms, Bo jumped up a laughing and a giggling, a hooting and a hollering. All right, bitch, you gonna marry me. You gonna marry me. I ain't gonna marry you. I ain't ever gonna marry you for nothing. You gonna be in the jail for this. You gonna be under the jail for this. Now give me back my kids. You give me back my kids. He kicked the screen out of the window and held the kids off of the sill. You gonna marry me? Yeah. Yeah, I'll marry you. Anything but bring the children back in the house. He looked from where the kids were hanging from the 5th story at all the people screaming at him, and he started sweating like he did in Baghdad. Say it. Say it.
You're gonna marry me!
I stood by Bo in the window when Naomi reaching for me and Kwame screaming, "Mommy, Mommy," from the 5th story. But I could only whisper. And he dropped him. I was missing something.
Something so important.
Something promised.
A laying on of hands.
Fingers around my forehead.
Strong.
Cool.
Moving.
Making me whole.
Sense.
Pure. All of the gods coming into me, laying me open to myself.
I was missing something.
Something promised.
Something free.
A laying on of hands.
I know about laying on bodies, laying on a man, bringing him all my fleshy self and some of my pleasures. Being taken fully direct, like I get sometimes. I was missing something.
A laying on of hands.
Not a man.
Laying on.
Not my mama holding me tight, saying I'm always gonna be her girl. Not a laying on of bosom. No, a laying on of hands. The holiness of myself released.
I sat up one night, walking a boarding house, screaming, crying, the ghost of a woman who was missing what I was missing. I wanted to jump out of my bones and be done with myself. Leave me alone and go on in the wind. It was too much. I fell into a numbness. So the only tree I could see took me up in her branches and held me in the breeze. Made me dawn, dew, that chill at daybreak. The sun wrapped me up, swinging rose light everywhere. The sky laid over me like a million men. I was cold. I was burning up a child. And endlessly weaving my garment for the moon with my tears. I found God in myself. And I loved her. I loved her fiercely.
I found God in myself.
And I
loved her.
I loved her fiercely.
I
I
found
found
God in myself.
And I loved her.
I
I loved her fiercely.
I found God in myself, and I loved her. I loved her fiercely. I found God in myself, and I loved her. I loved her fiercely. I found God in myself, and I loved her. I loved her fiercely. I found God in myself, and I loved her. I loved her fiercely. I found God in myself.
And this is for colored girls who have considered suicide.
I loved her fiercely.
Better move to the ends of their own rivers.
I found God in myself, and I loved her. I loved her fiercely.
It is midnight, got another supervisor, TV's still on, the party's going to leave.